Good morning, everyone. This is Diane, and I am embarking on a new journal. It'll be a set of probably 3 journals. I'm using the Stamperia paper called Atelier. Atelier is a French word that means sort of studio or workroom for an artisan, and it most generally is used in reference to a fashion designer and fashion workshop. So I am using a retro fashion theme for this. The paper itself would probably lend itself to a more vintage look, but I wanted to go retro, and I'll show you why in a moment. But this is the paper. It comes with 10 sheets, and some of those sheets are cut apart, and so 3 of them, so I end up with 7 sheets of paper. And they're just beautiful. They're in tones of blue and white and brown. So what I will do is I'm going to make these like the autumn journals that I recently made, where I just took the piece of cardstock and folded it in half so that they were 6 inches wide, and then I cut them at about 8 1/4 high. So I will take 2 pieces for each journal. One will be the cover and one will be within the journal. I'll have an extra page that I can maybe cut up and make pockets or something. And then I'll use lighter weight paper for the other pages. If I made it all out of this heavy paper, it would be a very thick book. And it comes with all of these cut aparts. Look at that giant dress form and a giant card. These might, I don't know if these will be too big for the size of my journal, but I have all these other smaller pieces. There are some cards and little label shapes and tags, little dress forms, the labels from thread, spools of thread, and the actual thread card shapes. So lots and lots of ephemera pieces I can use. So I've been curating this morning of what I could put into the journals. I believe that this paper came from maybe 9 of Crohn's. I've gotten some coffee dyed paper from her, and I had ordered from 2 different Etsy shops, and from one of them I ordered a sampler pack of a variety of different dyes that she uses, and this might be from that. I'm not sure if it was 9 of Crohn's, but it might have been. So I pulled this out. It's a purpley blue, so I thought it went well with the blue of the paper. I looked for blues and browns. Didn't have a lot of browns, but I pulled these blue papers out of my scrapbook paper stash, and I already have them coffee dyed. I did use some doilies. This is a plastic doily that I had picked up at a flea market. Finally got a chance to use it. Looks really good. So just a few of the pages. This one's even better. I have 2 of these doilies, and I had this piece that was all connected. It was, you were supposed to like fold it and connect it and make it into a basket. So these are the sides, and these are the, well, the ends, and these are the front and back, and I cut off the handle. So I had those, and I had another piece, and I just set those pieces out in the sun. The rest of the pages I did in the oven as usual. I did use some paper doilies on them, trying to find the other plastic piece that I had. You can see a little bit of where a paper doily was. This makes me mad when I'm coffee dyeing paper and I pull it out of the coffee bath and it does that. Oh well, it's a casualty. Oh well, I didn't see that other plastic piece. And I pulled out some vintage stationery. So this is a textured, really nice paper. It just has a burgundy line around it, so I'll probably put that in. And then these pieces, there's 2 blue. I only had 2 blue and there's 1 pink. I put those in, and some rice paper that I got from Dorothy. Dorothy wanted to do a swap with me for rice paper in exchange, excuse me, in exchange for ledger paper. So we did that swap, and now I've got a nice little stash of rice paper that I can use. And I brought this in. It's just a writing tablet. I got it at a flea market, although it came originally from Family Dollar. Okay, so here's why I want to do retro. It's because I want to use images from my pattern catalogs. This one is from the 1960s, and it's the smaller home catalog. My mother would get these all the time. What I would give to have all of the pattern catalogs that came through our home in the 60s and 70s. This is late 1960s. 69. It's pretty late. Winter 69. Yeah, she made all of our clothes and all of her clothes, and she was a stylish looking lady. She still is. She's a tall woman, not like me. None of us are tall, but yeah, she always looked very nice and elegant, and she made her own clothes. So we had a lot of these pattern books in our home, and then also when the large counter catalogs that you would actually sit in the store and go through, the huge ones, we would get those when they were discontinued. We were able to purchase them, and we had those. My sister and I cut them up for paper dolls. So I have this home catalog that I got from Etsy or eBay several years ago, and I also have 2 of the big catalog cards, the counter catalogs. One from the 60s and one from the 80s. So this is from 69, as I said, and I want to cut up some of these images and use them in the books. And these pages are from the larger counter catalog that's from the 60s. I went through looking for blues and browns, so there's that tan dress. I guess maybe this white one I pulled this one out for. I already fussy cut a couple of images. It takes a little bit, takes a minute to cut in between the arms and legs and all that stuff. I'm going to set those aside because we're going to take a look at them in a minute. So I just, like I said, went through and pulled out images in the right color palette. This is actually from a Spiegel catalog. I had made a copy of this. It's printed on cardstock. This one is also from one of the big counter catalogs. Maternity clothes on that side. I also have pages from fashion books and costumes and sewing. So I brought these over here. I haven't even looked at them. These are fashion pages. So we'll go through some of those and maybe pull some. And these are sewing, from sewing books. I have a fan on behind me. I hope the noise is okay. It's blowing my paper. That's what reminded me. I also have a few playing cards that I can use for ephemera. I just received these in a Happy Mail. Perfect. Were these from Sarah? I hate to say, because I got several Happy Mails and now I don't remember. This one might have been from Sarah. They're from 2 different decks. Probably from Joann's. Joann's is always selling items that feature simplicity patterns. So I have those, and I have these older looking fashion cards. And this is a Renoir painting of a lady doing some needlework. So she could be working in an atelier doing some hand finishing on one of the garments. I have some stamps. This looks like you would see this in an atelier. It is a dress form with a piece that's fabric that's being draped and pinned. It's got the pin cushion right up there. You can see pins sticking in it, and there's the measuring tape draped around it, the pattern pieces as a background. And then there's this stamp, which is also a simplicity pattern. I've had this for quite a long time. Hero Art. And there's another dress form. This is Dawn Hauser from Inka Dinka Doo. Had that for a long time. And I recently got this one. This was probably at Joann's because it's one of the simplicity things. I think I showed it in a recent haul. I don't think I've even used it yet. But it has these two images on it with simplicity patterns. And it came with tags, and these images would fit on the tags. So that's what I have pulled so far. I didn't go through fabric or anything. So I want to take a look at the Atelier paper and decide which ones will be my cover. I could go two different ways, and I may go two different ways because I'm making 3 journals. I could look for an image, like if I folded this like that, and then cut some off the top and bottom, then I would have this heart shape on the front, which kind of goes, rounds around to the side, to the back. So that would make a nice cover. And there was another one that had a really nice image. This one. If I fold it like this and cut the top part off, I would have this lovely dress form collage. It's actually a mixed media collage back here. It's really beautiful. Or I could go with a simple, like this one, without the pretty images. I guess I had this side. And decorate it with one of these images. So maybe I'll do both. Maybe I'll do one with one of these retro images on the front, and maybe I'll use these two. What do you think? We don't have to cut the paper today, so I guess I don't have to. Well, maybe I will cut the paper today. I'm not sure how much I'm going to do on this video. And one of these papers is not going to be used in the journal. I think I definitely want to use this and decorate it. So I could put this on the front so that this image would be on the back inside cover and use one of these images. That would be quite nice. I might do that. I think this one's too busy on both sides. And there's brown on these. Maybe this side. Yeah, I think to keep them consistent, even though they're all going to be sold separately, I'm going to use these 3 and put images on the front, because I think it'll be fun to decorate them that way. So let's just go ahead and cut them, since we made the decision, right? I hope you concur with the decision. They were attached along this side, so there's a bit of residue there from the adhesive that held them together. I'm just going to barely trim a bit off of that. And I will cut this to 8 1/4, and then maybe 8 1/2. Cut it to 8 1/2, and then I'll make the pages inside a little bit shorter. And I could use this to make a pocket. I don't know if that was straight. Was that straight? Yeah, I guess so. Got to make sure I don't cut off anything I want on the flip side. 8 1/2. So this is going to be the front. This is going to be the front. Now, I do want to use this page because it does have the patterns. I didn't feel any residue on these, so I didn't trim them. It would have been on the side. Yeah, there's a little bit. I can feel it on this one. That one feels good. I know I want to use this as a page, and I can cut this one a little shorter in width so that it fits within the cover. And I'll cut it to 8 1/8. And I will use this to make pockets or tags or something. Don't want any of this paper to go to waste. I think I want that to be a page. And this one. So I'm gonna use this one to make pockets and embellishments with. Now this one I want to leave the heart intact. If I cut it to 8 1/8, that'd be right up there. It would be trimming off part of the heart. So I'm going to have to make some smaller strips here. Okay, so we have those pages ready. And of course you saw the other pages that I'll have to cut down to size. Let's look at some of these fashion pages. Maybe you're curious as to what they look like. A lot of them, I had kept finding American costume and American fashion books at flea markets and stuff, Salvation Army and stuff, and I haven't found them in a while, but I had quite a collection, and I've sold a lot of the pages in my different book page sets, but I still have a lot. So I have those, and this is from some sort of Hollywood fashion or something. Some of the models that they used are famous. This is Vivian Leigh, or Lady Olivier. This is Marjorie Tallchief. Camilla Haas, I don't know who she is. This is Charles Gordon, Pamela May. There's another Vivian Leigh. So these are nice pages. Lady Malcolm. Look at the bustles. I don't know why everybody wanted their butt to look big. I don't need a bustle. Anyway, I have those pages. Some more fashion pages. Love the gloves. And then this book was fantastic. Well, this one's from the 80s. It's about dressing for your style. You have to decide what your style is, and then it gave hints on styles and accessories to match your personal style. This book is from some Japanese fashion museum. Well, this one isn't. These are very interesting pictures in this book. And the modern day ones were really, you know, like modern art. Look at that. That is so pretty. I want to use that page. That'll be good for an Atelier page. But look at these. Very, very fun images. I can use that one. I just like the look of the fabrics and things. You would see piles and bolts and stuff of fabrics in an Atelier. Beautiful. Maybe I'll take that one. And I probably won't use all the ones I'm selecting. I have too many to choose from. Some more fashion books. This is again from the Japanese museum. I was trying to see some of the more modern ones. Oh, that's great. There's a mannequin there. This looks like it's from the 1920s. It's a very straight style. This says 1917, and this is 19... Well, there's a page that was there, so I don't know what this is. So these are great pages. Great, great images of fabrics. Here we're getting into the 50s. Look at that. It's just stunning. Look at these. Oh my word. I could make a whole journal with just these pages. Oh look, Chanel. This is probably from the 60s. Yeah, there's a mini skirt. These are the more modern ones. Probably still from the 60s for that one. Anyway, I'm not going to use these modern ones. Look at this, is what I was talking about, modern art. This is a piece of my Simplicity wrapping paper that came from Joann's. Now this is from Glamour. And this you would see in an Atelier. They are fashion sketches with notes and little fabric swatches. So this will definitely go in one of the books. Hats. Maybe this page. Oh, this is more from that Japanese. That was a big fat book. Lots and lots of fashion in there. Just beautiful. Well, that's... Look at the face on her. It's very odd. Okay, Now let's look at some of the sewing pages. Make sure I keep the maybe pile separate from the put away pile. I think I need to make a whole bunch of fashion themed books. Smart Fashion Stitches by Singer. Oh, these are cool. I might be able to take some of those. There's a pattern for a doll dress. I don't want doll dresses. It's a pleated skirt. It's a nice kind of page, matte, and it won't crack when it folds. Take one of each of these, or one of these for each journal. This is from the Reader's Digest, the horizontal book. Just about sewing. I'll just take some of those images. This is from a Singer sewing book. Obviously I can't use all of this because I'm making one signature journals. It's not going to be a big book. So I guess I have pulled enough, more than enough. Just set these pages aside. I'm going to take my covers and fold them and look at my images that I want to put on the fronts and maybe select what is going to go on which cover. So I have my scoreboard here. I am going to score them at 6 inches. I might have to trim a tiny bit off of the back, or yeah, off the back, because I trimmed a tiny bit off to get that edge off. No, that's not bad. There's just a little bit poking out, but I will put, I mean, it's barely noticeable, and I will put some lace or something either on the cover or on the first page. I love this. It looks like corrugated cardboard with white paint or gesso on it. Have to make that look pretty. It's pretty dull. There is some mixed media on it. There's music and there's different shades of color and there's some texture, but it's a pretty dull brown color. So I will definitely have to pretty that up. I have these two images already cut. I thought if I used this one I would put something under her. Although the artist kind of sketched in something that she's sitting on, but I would want something under her, so that might not work on the front cover. I don't know. This one looks pretty good on that. I may have pulled this one for this grouping. I think I wanted this one with the blue colors. Yeah. And this one has some beige and brown. This would make a nice little grouping on the front of one of them. I think maybe I'll put this one over here and use the beige and brown one there. That would be nice. This one's nice too, though. I really like that. If I could find something that looked good, not just something to stick on there. It has to kind of go with everything. So maybe, but I might go with her. But I want her to have a companion. I'm not going to fussy cut these on the camera because it took me quite a while to fussy cut these. I just wanted to get some images selected, and then I don't know what I'll use behind them, like to further decorate, but not too much. I don't want to take away much from the design of the paper. When I cut out these, I save these pieces because I can make ephemera out of these. I did make a copy of this page before I cut the front of it out. I can use this in my own personal glue books. Maybe what I need to do now, I don't have a lot of time left, is stamp some stuff. I'm going to get some paper to stamp on. Sorry for the noise, I had to move something out of my way. Okay, I have my box of cardstock scraps here. Oh, I also have, I keep these right handy, pieces that I can use for making journaling cards. So let's just stamp some of these things. I'm not sure what I'm going to make with them, but I can stamp the images and get them cut out, and then maybe I'll use them on tags and pockets and stuff like that. Again, I have this situation where I feel like I have too much stuff and I can't focus on what I really want to use. And I mean, it's not a bad problem to have, right? I'm going to try stamping on blue too, just to see. I have Ranger Archival ink, because I usually use StazOn, but my StazOn is dry, and I couldn't find any StazOn at the craft stores. All the stores were out of it, so I grabbed Archival ink. Start with this one. I am working on getting some pages, groups of pages from my large counter catalogs ready to put in the shop. I'm going to have bundles of pages from the 1960s book and bundles of pages from the 1980s book. So I'm working on that. It won't be too long. Maybe by the time I have these journals done, probably before I have these journals done, I'll have those bundles in the shop. And they will include not just the ladies' fashion, they'll include crafts and children's and men's and whatever was in the catalogs. But there will be a good amount of the ladies' fashions. That one doesn't look quite right. Looks like it's missing something up there, so let's try it again on this side. I'm standing up trying to get a good image here, a good impression. Gotta make a good impression. Maybe that's just the way it is. Okay, got a couple there. Let's do my pretty ladies. I don't know why I put the lid on my ink. Yeah, it's a good image. Might as well do it on some of the tags that it came with. Lovely. It came with round topped white ones and angled top cream colored ones. I'll do 3 of each image on a tag so that each journal can have 1 of each image. She's so pretty. Now, I am going to take one of my ink pads. I've done this before on camera. I'm going to do a little painting on these images. I have my water brushes here, and I'm just pressing this down so that the inside top of the pad touches the ink pad and it gets color on it. And I will just dip in my water brush and get some color. Clean off the brush just by rubbing it on my paper, and just give her a little bit of color on her hair. Hello, honey. And let's do just a little bit of Sahara sand around the background. Maybe this new model doesn't squeeze down. Whoops. No, I don't feel it squeezing down, so I'm not getting any color there. I'm just gonna dip it right on the pad. You want to make sure that you've let your image dry. Maybe you want to do the background first, but if the image is still wet and then you put this wet ink on, the water inside the blue part would draw the brown part in and mix the colors. But it doesn't take long to dry, and it was already dry. You can do this with a paintbrush and water too. It's just, I like to keep these water brushes handy so I don't have to go get a cup of water that I would spill all over, and that's just what I do. I hope I was in frame while I was painting. I'm going to have to quit in just a couple minutes, but I'm going to ink around the edge of that to give the edge a little color. I think I'm going to use blue. Oh, I don't think I was holding it in camera. I'm sorry. So there's that tag. And I'll just have a few more to do and have some tags for each journal. So we're off. We have started. We've cut a few sheets of paper and we've made some tags. I'm excited to see how these journals come out. I just love the 60s fashion illustrations. 50s and 60s, 40s. I love them all. So I hope that you'll come back to see what I'm going to do next. I think for these, I don't want to really do anything to the back because I want to leave it. So I might just attach a little bit of lace or a scrap of fabric or something to these and just tuck them in for something fun. On these, I could put something on the back so that they could be journaled on. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again very soon. Have a creative day. Bye-bye.